See the light of a new day dawning. Feel the love from a beating heart. You catch a ride to the top of the world. This is where we start. No, we can't make it last forever. We gotta use all the time we have. And you know that we'll never say never if we ever get the chance. And it's good to be alive.
Hi, this is Sean Carney, the president of 40 Days for Life, and I'm joined by the campaign director for 40 Days for Life, Mr. Steve Garland. Steve, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, Sean. Very eager to see what the first 90 days of 2019 has to bring for 40 Days for Life volunteers and for the pro-life movement everywhere.
Well, there's a lot going on the first 90 days. Happy New Year to you and your family. We hope you had a very blessed and Merry Christmas. We have a very fast start for the pro-life movement in 2019, and we're going to get to all of it because really 2018 was the year of noise for the abortion industry. I mean, we saw people just come absolutely unhinged on the sidewalks. We had the largest spring 40 Days for Life campaign we've ever had in the spring of 2018. That was followed by the largest fall 40 Days for Life campaign we've ever had. And we saw a lot of the fruits and the nuts and everybody else in between come out to protest, to disrupt, and really to just make a lot of noise. And I think that's a good sign heading into 2019.
Absolutely. Socialists, anarchists, Satanists, all kinds of ists that we talk about every time. And what I think is so encouraging and why these first 90 days are so critical, Sean, is because they come out and we see 40 Days for Life leaders and volunteers, they get concerned, like the empire is striking back here, right?
Right.
But ultimately, what we've seen time and time again is all of the ists who are out making noise at the vigil sites, the abortion industry at large, they don't have the staying power, they don't have the momentum, they don't have the perseverance and the fortitude to continue. And so while you're out there, fortunately, we've got a campaign that starts a little bit later than usual this year, but when you're out there, it's still going to be cold in many parts of the country and throughout the world. You're going to have that perseverance and staying power, and the other side won't. And we're going to see that momentum accelerate even beyond what we saw this past year.
It really is. You know, the beginning of the year, everybody makes New Year's resolutions or some kind of change. People want to lose weight, or they want to work more, or they want to, work less, or whatever it is. But we have to make pro-life resolutions. Every year that we approach the Roe v. Wade anniversary needs to mean something to us, especially as Americans. We are embarking on 46 years of legalized abortion on January the 22nd, and that should break our hearts every single day, but certainly at the beginning of every single year. It is a shameful anniversary. We have killed over 60 million little boys and little girls. And so we're going to help you make these pro-life resolutions, encourage you, not really twist your arm, but definitely give you 3 simple things you can do in the first 90 days of 2019. And the first one is easy. It is to attend a March for Life, either locally, either at your state capitol, or you can join us in Washington, D.C. at the March for Life, or the West Coast Walk for Life in San Francisco. This is a great time to get media coverage for the abortion issue, and it makes a tremendous difference after 46 years.
Absolutely. From time to time, being from Wisconsin, I wish Roe versus Wade had been decided in June or May or sometime when it's not so cold to go out and march in Washington or in Wisconsin. But the fact of the matter is this is a great way to start out the year. Everything else flows from the March for Life. All of the momentum comes from there. So local marches, the Washington March. We didn't even mention One Life Los Angeles, which has very quickly become the 3rd largest pro-life event in the United States of America. So many opportunities, but wherever it is that you march, maybe you go to multiple marches, stand up and be counted this January.
Yeah, it's a great thing to do out of love of God, but it's a beautiful thing to do out of love of country. And when you go to one of these marches, you are using your rights, just as you do during a 40 Days for Life campaign. If you're doing so with hundreds and thousands and sometimes tens of thousands of your fellow Americans. And it's been beautiful to see how many other countries have taken the March for Life in Washington, D.C. and done their own marches. Our campaign director for Latin America, Lourdes Varela, who you will hear from in a moment, spoke at the Argentina March for Life last year. And so it's beautiful to see.
I just got an email from our pro-life friends at the Campaign Life Coalition in Canada. They're getting their buses ready to come out to Washington for the March for Life. And it's something that you talk about a lot, Sean, that Abortion in many ways has been exported all over the world by America and by the West, but the solution to abortion is also being exported from America, and that's why we see folks looking here. Certainly most of the participants are from America, but there's a lot of folks coming from around the world looking for hope, looking for Christ, looking for the end to abortion where they live. And it starts here. It starts in the community where you live. It starts in the marches that we'll attend this upcoming month.
And that should motivate you too. Those Canadians are awesome. I mean, talk about a country that is just beating freedom of speech with a baseball bat, and yet they are going to load up buses and come down to Washington, D.C. They'll probably be in shorts in January in Washington, D.C., but that alone should inspire us. And this is just going to be an awesome March for Life, and we're blessed to be joined on this webcast by the president of March for Life, Jeanne Mancini, who's going to share a few words. Jeanne, how are you?
Greetings. My name is Jeanne Mancini, and I'm honored to be president of the March for Life. On behalf of our staff and board, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to all 40 Days for Life prayer warriors for your witness and for your prayerful protection of life outside of abortion clinics around the country and around the world. We'd also like to extend a warm welcome to each of you who've been or who haven't been to the March for Life in the past. The March for Life is a beautiful moment for the entire pro-life movement to come together. It's a moment where we draw a line in the sand, letting people know and letting the United States know that abortion is not okay, that it's the human rights abuse of today, and that we are working to bring a speedy end to this. One day, we'll all have to answer for what we did to protect the most vulnerable among us. And I want to be able to say that I did everything. Well, participating in the March for Life is one of the ways that you can bear witness to the entire world. And so with my whole heart and soul, I invite you to attend the 2019 March for Life, January 18th, 2019 on the National Mall. It'll be at 12th Street at noon. Be there, and we hope to see you. God bless.
Thank you, Jeanne, and it's so exciting as people get ready to go to the March for Life. That's our number one call to action for these first 90 days of 2019. And now I'm joined by former Planned Parenthood manager and now director of outreach, Sue Thayer. And Sue, you led a 40 Days for Life campaign outside your former workplace. Steve and I were talking about how the abortion advocates have just come unhinged. There's not even the argument for reproductive rights or women's freedom. It's all Satanists and yelling and anarchists and transvestites coming out and just screaming. You and I were together at a rally in Madison. We're showing some of the footage where people are just yelling at us. What has changed? Why are these people so unhinged?
Well, I think they feel like they're backed into a corner, kind of. I think the pro-life world, the pro-life movement, is making huge strides. I think 2019 is going to be our year, a big year for us and for babies and for life, and I think they sense it. You know, they see the movies, the books, you know, the prayer campaigns, everybody's kind of taking a stance. I've been speaking for life for about 5 years now, and I remember, you know, the first time I got kind of heckled, there was some people in the audience and, you know, they were kind of crabby and yelling at me, and I was like, you know, I've been where you guys are, knock it off, we'll talk afterwards, but don't disrupt. And they kind of sat down and were quiet. But, you know, now it's the bad language and just, you know, there's no desire to try to agree or come to any common ground, so to speak, and they're just really angry and aggressive.
You didn't have the opportunity to say half a word to those people who were just screaming at you. I kind of got a kick out of that because I've known you for a while, and I thought, these crazy people are yelling at this lady. You were managing a Planned Parenthood a few years ago. So it's amazing to see that. But that's really what they're left with. And you're an example. And all the, you know, we've seen 186 abortion facility workers have a change of heart and leave their job during a 40 Days for Life. At 46 years of legalized abortion, you know, we're really on paper supposed to have just accepted this and moved on. And yet, there's an exodus out of the abortion industry. Do they see that? Do they see that that the conversion gate is only swinging in one direction?
I think that's part of what scares them. I think they see that hearts are changing in the abortion facility and out. And you know, God has just pre-programmed us to know right from wrong. they know that what they're doing is wrong, and I think it just is all kind of coming to a head, and certainly being on the sidewalk in front of an abortion facility is the most important place in the world regarding pro-life issues, because there's just no prayers like the ones that are said, in front of an abortion facility.
There's not, and that leads us to our number 2 action step for the first 90 days of 2019, and that is to participate in 40 Days for Life on March the 6th. And there's going to be hundreds of cities and dozens of countries participating. You are the only former Planned Parenthood employee to lead, only crazy one enough, the lead a 40 Days for Life campaign outside your former workplace. Talk about the impact of just going out. Some people will see this and they'll be like, I've been to one of the marches, but I'm not going to go to where the Planned Parenthood is. I'm not going to go to where they do abortions. How do they get over that and over that natural fear?
Well, I'd be the first one to tell you that I was terrified, when I first went. But I can say with all honesty that if I can do it, anybody can do it, because I'm single, I have kids, I had a job, and I'm thinking, how in the world am I going to do this? And I somehow was able to call 40 Days for Life and get a hold of encouragement, basically, on the phone. And the words that were spoken to me still echo in my heart. I was whining and fussing about, there's not that many people in Iowa, and how are we going to do this? And we can't do it for 12 hours a day. And she said, the gal I was talking to, Lauren, said, why would you want to limit God? And I was just like, ugh.
There's nothing wrong with making somebody feel guilty, right?
Well, I don't think that was their intent.
No.
But it really did touch my heart. And I was like, here I am saying that we can only do 15 hours a week. And she's saying, don't limit God, because he can do big things. And of course, right up to the minute it started, I was like, this isn't going to work, and I'm going to look foolish. That was my thing, I think, is would look like a fool, because here I was managing it, then I'm trying to do this other thing and it falls flat. But God honored our feeble attempts somehow by his mercy and grace, and we had 480 hours of prayer there.
It's awesome. And being fools for Christ is always, for all of us, easier to say than to actually do when it starts to happen. And that's that side of it, right? That's like us overcoming our fear and going out there. But how does a 40 Days for Life campaign impact the Planned Parenthood on the inside?
Workers despise 40 Days for Life. And if they see people out there praying, of course, they always call them protesters or picketers. But
those are some of the nicer names,
actually. Those are some of the nicer names. But they're inside calling their supporters saying, would you pledge a picket, they call it. And they're saying, we have 5 picketers here, would you pledge $10 per person? So they're trying to turn that into a fundraising opportunity. And then they'll holler out the door and say, we're making money on you, to try to get them to go home, thinking, well, maybe they really are making money and we shouldn't be here. But that is a flat out lie from the enemy himself. And very rarely do they get money that way, but that's the lie that they'll use to try to tell people. But, workers need to see that people care enough to take a stand and to be outside no matter the weather. And the prayer said there, touch the hearts of really everybody. Even if people drive past and they're angry and they're yelling and doing, obscene gestures or whatever, that is all the more reason to know that you are on the right track. And honestly, there's nights where I'll get in bed and I'll think, nobody has yelled at me today. And then I think, have I done enough? Did I put something on social media? Have I talked to somebody? Did I go out in public in a pro-life shirt that would maybe spark a conversation? And just thinking about, what is my role in this and what is the next step? And certainly, taking the step of going out and standing on the sidewalk for life is a big step, but it is the most important step that you'll ever make. And I guarantee, I know that God will honor and bless your time there.
He will. No one has ever reported back to us. There have been 800,000 people that have participated. No one said, I regret going out there. Mm-hmm. And it's always a blessing, and it's worth it. And that's the thing. And it's because it's worth it, it's hard. And so It's been a tremendous blessing. You know, we are filming this webcast right now inside one of the 99 abortion facilities that have closed their doors and gone out of business. This is where 40 Days for Life first began, right outside those doors. But it has, thank God, left this one location in College Station, Texas, and gone around the world. We've seen 40 Days for Life done all throughout the UK. We've seen it done in Russia, in Africa. It is now booming in Latin America. And so much love has been poured out onto these sidewalks, and it has been such a witness of our Lord's mercy and love to go to all of these countries. And right now you get to hear from the campaign director of 40 Days for Life International, Mr. Robert Cahoon, and the director of Latin America, Lourdes Varela.
Thank you, Sean. I'm here with Lourdes Varela, the Director of Latin American Campaigns. Well, does it make a difference when you go out to pray at the vigil? Absolutely. And my role for the last 6 years has been taking 40 Days for Life International, going all around the world. We've had so many different campaigns. We've had nearly 150 campaigns participate last autumn. It's been a huge blessing and a huge success. And your presence outside abortion centres or in the public square makes a massive difference. It changes hearts and minds. And if it's only the people praying, if their hearts and minds can also be the ones that are changing too. It's been such a blessing taking this campaign to other countries. In 2018, we went to Nigeria a couple of times. We went to Germany. And Lourdes, we'll hear about some of your trips all around Latin America, where this campaign is really, really growing at the moment. In England, we've had such a profound impact outside abortion centres. In West London, we've seen one of the abortion centres is a former nuns' convent that is now a late-term abortion centre. We've seen hundreds of people change their minds. Now a year-round public presence has been organised outside that abortion centre. We've seen an abortion centre close in central London. We have seen our campaign spread around the country, and hundreds and thousands of lives have been impacted. We've seen a very heavy campaign from abortion providers try and bring in buffer zones, which has largely failed, apart from one buffer zone in Ealing in West London. Your presence really does make a difference, and all the evidence, all the impact, as we heard from Sue earlier, is from the testimonies from the abortion workers, from those who are changing their minds, from the participants of 40 Days for Life. All this evidence points towards your presence really does make a difference. And to go and take love to a place that is without hope, to take love to people who are in need of a message of love in a place that there is no hope, your presence can change lives in a way beyond your wildest imaginations with this campaign. We've seen this campaign spread into a nationwide campaign in Colombia and Mexico and Croatia, the United Kingdom, and so many other countries around the world. We've seen this one effort spread from one campaign to 10, 20, 30 campaigns on the national level, comprehensive national campaigns develop, and how exciting that has been to see. Here in the West, in America, in the United Kingdom, we have been exporting abortion to other countries in the world. In Africa, abortion is funded by 7 Western governments that take your taxpayers' money, abortion money, and then go and spend that in developing nations, pretending to build development in those countries. In reality, unborn children are being murdered. But this is a solution. 40 Days for Life is a solution to the crisis of abortion. And it starts with prayer and with community organising, bringing people to come and pray in the public square. And your presence really does change lives, change hearts and minds. Lourdes, tell us a little bit about your travels in Latin America. Why the family is the core of for values in Latin America, and your experiences of promoting this campaign around Latin America.
Well, I first will talk about the situation of abortion in Latin America. In most countries, abortion is illegal. Just 2 countries, Uruguay and Colombia, abortion has been allowed for the reasons of rape, misformation, and health of the mother. But we are giving a fight. We are not allowing the death to go into our countries. And with 40 Days for Life, we are a family. We are a family on faith because we are believers. And I have seen the presence of God in every campaign in Latin America, and the presence of the Virgin Mary, our mother. And as we are so faithful people, and we like family, I want you to participate, not just because you have to do something or you have to do this sacrifice. It's just because the solution is in God. If you believe in God and you believe that He already won, and for us, it's just take part in this battle. Take a part and pray for the end of abortion.
Great, so we're now back with Sean Carney, the president of 40 Days for Life. We've got the call to action number 3, which is go out and watch the film Unplanned, coming out on March the 22nd. Sean, tell us all about the film Unplanned.
Well, it's very exciting, and this, adds on to the first 90 days of 2019. We got to go to the marches, and we got to participate in 40 Days for Life, and now we have something that has never been done, which is a movie that not only shows abortion, shows an RU46 abortion, is a movie that takes on abortion and Planned Parenthood like no other movie ever has, and that is Unplanned the movie, which we have been talking about a lot at 40 Days for Life. Much of it is depicted in this building where we are, the closed Planned Parenthood abortion facility where Abby Johnson was the director, and this is her story, her beautiful story of her conversion and coming out to 40 Days for Life and being attacked by Planned Parenthood. No movie goes after Planned Parenthood like Unplanned. I have been fortunate enough to see the movie. It is very well done. It's not a cheesy Christian movie. Some people were worried about that, including myself, and it's not. It's done very professionally by the writers of God's Not Dead, who not only wrote Unplanned, but also directed and produced the movie, and it's very well done. It's a lot more intense than people think, and it will come out just 2 weeks after the start of the 40 Days for Life campaign. March 22nd is the opening weekend, and the opening weekend means so much. There have been some great pro-life movies or movies that have dealt with abortion recently. My favorite is Gosnell. I thought Gosnell was so well done, and they just didn't have the money or the infrastructure behind Gosnell to have a huge opening weekend, and we saw how the media shamefully blacked out Gosnell, and we're not going to let that happen with Unplanned. There's already so many people, hundreds of people, who are hosting theaters and filling theaters, and so if you would like to be one of those people, you can host a theater by emailing movie@40daysforlife.com. But it's a very powerful way to get the pro-life message out there, and there's no movie like it. It really goes after abortion and Planned Parenthood and shows the truth. And I think the biggest compliment that I can give the movie is that it's accurate. And that's what makes it tough at times, and what makes it so joyful. Recently, we were joined by Ashley, who is the actress who plays Abby Johnson. She does an absolutely fantastic job in the movie, and she is going to share a few thoughts on the movie with all of you here tonight.
It's really hard for me to tell my story without making it God's story, because the way I became involved was so divinely appointed. I had no idea that this movie was being made until a random Instagram follower, someone I had never met before, sent me a message, and they said, "Hey, there's this true life story, and it's a pro-life film, and I think that you're meant to play the lead role." And then 2 weeks later, she followed up and sent me another message and just said, "Hey, Ashley, I've been praying for you for over a year, and I was just wondering if you ever auditioned for that movie." Her name is Emily Weiss, by the way. And I said, "No, I kind of blew it off because I do things through my agent." And she was like, "Please audition." I got the sides for the audition, just these 6 pages. And after reading them, I thought, what the heck, I'll just put myself on tape and send the tape off to the casting director. Whatever happens, happens. But, afterwards, I'm thinking about it, and I sent the audition off, and I'm like, I don't know who this woman is. And it's just so compelling in the story. I need to know who she is. And so I got on the internet and I Googled every article I could find, and I watched every YouTube video I could find. And as soon as I heard her testimony, I was just so convicted. I was a puddle of tears on the floor. And in my heart, I knew that I was meant to play this role.
Thank you, Ashley. And she did a great job playing Abby Johnson, the former Planned Parenthood director, and the movie is well done. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it, and at the end of the day, it's a movie about you. It is a very uplifting story of how this issue can't be manipulated or changed or given different words. It is the destruction of innocent human life, and that's why the pro-life movement is a movement of converts, and the conversion gate only swings in one direction, and it's beautiful to see. So it's a very uplifting story, but they take abortion directly, head on, and it's going to have a huge impact. I encourage you to see the movie on the opening weekend. This is the third call to action. March 22nd is when the movie comes out. You can find out more at 40daysforlife.com/movie. And Robert, that's a lot to do in the first 90 days. So why don't you give a recap for 2019?
So the first call to action is to attend the March for Life. There's many marches for life around the world in different countries, or you can start your own march if there isn't one in your country already. The second call to action is to participate in 40 Days for Life, starting March the 6th, 2019. Now we've got a very late start this year of March the 6th. It's going to be a lot warmer. It's going to be there's not going to be snow. There's not going to be no blizzards in March. Hopefully, it depends.
Cold in England.
Depends where you live.
It's always cold.
So that's a good reason. It's going to be sunny weather, and hopefully the snow has melted by that point. And we've got a nice late Easter this year, which is a blessing for our organisation. So it's such a great campaign. We have seen so many babies saved. To keep that momentum going after the marches, go and get involved in your local campaign where you live. Go and be a volunteer, sign up as a team captain, get those hours filled in your local campaign. Or if there is no campaign in your community, pray and discern about leading one where we don't have a campaign already. It's going all around the world, and it is such an amazing effort to get out there, go and pray where abortions are happening in your community, and know that your difference, your prayers, you can save a life right where you live. We don't know how God uses our prayers, but we can take confidence that going out to pray is the right thing to do. You can be the presence that saves a life in your local community. So call to action number 2 is go and participate in 40 Days for Life, starting March the 6th in your closest location to where you live. Call to action number 3 is to go out and to watch, see the Unplanned movie, or organise your own screening. It starts on March the 22nd to 24th. So if there's not a screening in your local town, your local movie theatre or film theatre, go and organise one yourself. Go email us at movie@40daysforlife.com, or go to our website 40daysforlife.com/movie. Go out and watch this film. It's an inspiring, powerful tool to change people's mind about the abortion issue, to show what abortion is really about. It's a professionally made, thoroughly profound film. It's a moving, emotional film, and it is something that will be a powerful way in which we can engage the culture and to discuss and debate abortion, about what it all is truly involved. It's an amazing film. Get out there, go and watch it, and encourage other people to participate. So those are our 3 calls to action to get off to a great start this year. It's an exciting time to be part of the pro-life movement, and I'm looking forward to what God has in store for 2019. It's going to be a great year.
A lot going on, and it's a much better than pro-life resolutions like losing weight. And so we don't care if you lose weight, but we do care if you help save a baby. And so these are the 3 things, a lot going on. Praise God for the people who have been doing this for decades and built this beautiful pro-life movement opposing abortion the last 46 years. These first 3 calls to action in 2019 can really set this year apart. And so please take part in it. Go to 40daysforlife.com and sign up for our email list. We will be sending out a lot on all 3 of these big things in the first 90 days. So get the emails and take part in it. Thank you for joining us on this webcast, and we will see you next time. God bless you.
Life is cold.